83 grams of calcium chloride is equal to how many moles? First, we have to write a chemical formula for calcium chloride. We know that calcium forms a +2 ion, chloride forms a -2 ion, so the finished formula will be CaCl2. We're going to calculate molar mass because molar mass is the conversion factor that allows us to go between grams and moles. Every calcium atom is 40 grams per mole. And then we have 2 chlorides, and then each chloride is about 35 grams per mole. So together, when we add it all up, is going to be about 111 grams per mole. That unit is important because that unit allows you to go between grams and moles. Whenever you have a unit with a combined unit of 2 different units, you know you can convert between those 2 entities in there. So that 111 grams per mole can be written as a for every statement, and then that is your first step to solving this problem. So for every 111 grams, and then that slash means there is, and if there's no number by a unit, we always assume it's just 1. So for every 111 grams, there's 1 mole. Now, my problem is asking me to convert 83 grams, so I need to make sure that the number with those units is listed under my first for every statement and the units are aligned. And then I'm going to fill in the rest. So for every 83 grams, there is, the problem is asking me to find moles, so I'm going to leave that as blank. In order to solve this problem, I need to find a way to go from 111 to 83. Since I'm going from a bigger number to a smaller number, I am going to divide, and in this case, I'm going to divide by about 1.3. But then I have to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to do 1 divided by that same factor, which is 1.3. And when I plug that into my calculator, I should come up with a number about 0.8. Unit should be the same as the one on the top. That's mole. And I should always include the substance that I'm calculating, and in this case it was calcium chloride. So your answer should always include that number, that unit, and that chemical, that stuff that we were looking for. So this is how you go from grams to mole. How would you go the other way? Well, let's take a look at another problem, and that is for every 3.5 moles of aluminum sulfide, how many grams is that? Again, I don't have a formula, so that's the first thing that I need to do is find a formula for the substance. Aluminum is +3, sulfide is -2, so the finished formula will be Al2S3. When you add up 2 aluminums together and 3 sulfides together, you are going to get about 150 grams per mole. Okay, so again, we're going to write that as our for every statement, and that is for every 150 grams, there is 1 mole. Okay, you always start with a molar mass for every statement. Okay, that gets you halfway there. And then I go back to my original question that's asking to convert 3.5 moles to grams. 3.5 moles, I'm going to put down underneath where the moles are in my first for every statement. And it's asking me to convert to grams, so I'm going to leave that blank and then fill in the rest of my statement. Okay, so to go from 1 to 3.5, I have to multiply because I'm going from a smaller to a bigger number. And in this case, I'm going to multiply by 3.5. And then I have to do the same thing on the other side of the equation. And then 150 times 3.5 is about 525. Unit needs to match, so that's grams, okay, of aluminum sulfide, okay? This answer does not carry the mole unit because it is asking you only for grams. And this number in here matches the unit on the top, which is the grams. Thanks.